welcome to The Q. This is the segment in which we get to discuss all the news and happenings in the world of Disney today. So for the first article, and if you're any fan of the Disney fan universe, that's kind of redundant, but if you're any kind of fan, you probably heard of this article that we're about to discuss. But anyway, I'll give you a little rundown so you can kind of remember and rehash from your minds from when you read that and came across it. But if you haven't heard it, enjoy yourself. Here we go. A Christian and conservative Republican gentleman by the name of Jonathan Van Boskirk from North Las Vegas, Nevada, submitted an opinion piece to the Orlando Sentinel, which was published on the Orlando Sentinel website on Friday, April 23rd, 2021. And so, of course, if you're any kind of passionate Disney fan, you're probably like, oh, here we go. You know exactly what we're talking about with this article. But, we decided to cover this because, in the spirit that the show, there's a little time capsule noting some of the brightest and darkest days of Disney. So it's kind of nice to note that, whatnot. So the title of the commentary is this: I love Disney World, but wokeness is ruining the experience. And I'm sure from this title alone, the Disney fan universe was bound to pounce on it without having read the article, but hopefully most of you guys did.
Oh, I read it, yeah.
Yes. I read it too. Yeah. But anyway, allow me to provide a brief set of highlights from his opinion piece. And I'm not paraphrasing much, I'm just pulling quotes out just to give you a rundown of what he was saying.
Okay.
So in the article, first he reestablishes his fandom by telling us how much money he spends at the Disney-related vacations and all kind of stuff. So he does that. He established that point first. He establishes himself as a Disney fan.
I like how, as a Disney fan, it's not about like, hey, I remember watching Bambi in the theater. I remember like collecting all the movies. It's like, no, I spend a lot of money on Disney every year. Cruises. Thousands and cruises.
Gazillions.
Yes.
Amazing.
As a fellow retail worker, I can tell you that's a red flag already. Like, do you know how much I spend here?
Exactly.
Yeah, big time. Yeah. But anyway, so he establishes that. But then he goes on and says this. And I want to use his own words and quote directly from the article. He says this, quote, I am strongly rethinking our commitment to Disney and thus Orlando. The more Disney moves away from the values and vision of Walt Disney, the less Disney World means to me. Disney is forgetting that guest immersion is at the core of its business model. When I stand in Galaxy's Edge or Fantasyland, I know I am in a theme park, but through immersion and my willingness to set the real world aside, something magical happens. That spell is broken when the immersive experience is shattered by the real world. And boy, has Disney been breaking the immersion. End quote. So then he does that, and then he goes on, he discusses the new Disney Look announcement, and he states that he is, and I quote again, he's not traveling across the country and paying thousands of dollars to watch someone I do not know express themselves. I'm there for the immersion and the fantasy, not the reality of a stranger's self-expression. I do not begrudge these people for their individuality, and I wish them well in their personal lives. But I do not get to express my individuality at my place of business. Yeah,
sounds like you work at a company, sir.
Sounds like corporate to me. That's
not necessarily. Yeah, I was going to say not necessarily a crummy company. And stop cursing, Alan. You're driving them crazy.
Sorry.
Come on, beware.
But I mean, a more professional work environment. But there again, I'm sure, maybe working in a more professional work environment, you have like paid parking or some kind of perk that other people don't have. Mm-hmm. Like that. I hate that argument that like my job perks aren't the exact same as your job perks. Well, it could be seniority. It could be, different types
benefits,
of jobs. And I don't know what this kind of stuff. Guy does for a living.
Or like my job makes me miserable, so your job should make you miserable too.
Right.
Yeah.
That would be like, Lee, your job perk is you get to drive in your car a lot. I don't get to drive in my car. I have to sit behind a desk. You get
to be outside.
Yeah, you get an expense account.
Right.
Yeah, you have an expense account. Yeah.
But maybe I make more money than you, so maybe it balances itself out in some kind of way. It's a bad comparison. I'm sorry. We're
No. I'm with the sense that in my job, I used a Spider-Man logo for my Outlook email icon, and my boss told me he said I don't like that, so I took it off. But then I put on the icon of the place that we worked. Had no problem with that. So I could understand the need some people put on you to conform at your place of business. So I could
assimilate.
I could sympathize with that.
Assimilate.
Right.
Yeah.
How much do you pay me? Like, my wife is mad at me all the time because when I need to get off, I can get off. I can go ahead and be like, you know what, Lily's sick. Boss, I'm checking out. I'm going, okay, cool. Mm-hmm. She can't do that. No. However, she makes way more money than I do.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's like, it's the trade-off that comes with all perks are not equal.
Yes, who you work for, what industry you work at, what position you have in, and they're all variants.
She does closing, so she has to be there. I can work remotely a lot.
Yes.
And do. So, anyway.
Yeah, no, it totally makes sense. But anyway, in the article, he goes on to say this, and I quote, "Corporations have always made politically motivated decisions. Usually, it is due to the desire to make a profit, but sometimes it is due to the values of the people in the corporation. Walt Disney used his corporation to express his patriotism during World War II and his pro-capitalism beliefs afterwards. The difference today is that the people who run Disney use social media to scream at the whole world that a decision has been made for political reasons," end quote.
Well, they do that. Yeah. I mean,
when you talked about it last week.
Yes.
It's like letting it be versus...
That's kind of the
never
world we
say it.
live in right now, though, isn't it?
well, they're just trying to get good publicity. They're trying to get people to, hey, look at Disney, look how progressive and forward-thinking and everything that they are. I don't know if that's anything unusual or nefarious behind that.
No, that's like announcing that you have a new ride coming.
I mean, you can't take exception with Disney suddenly being politically active and then fully acknowledge that Walt was politically active. But okay, never mind.
No, I mean, it's like Orlando Sentinel publishing this piece and then publishing all the other reactionary pieces that came forward today, as a matter of fact.
Oh, my.
It's getting them it's getting them attention, pretty much, is what has happened. But anyway, so he goes on and he proceeds to discuss examples of Disney using the, and I quote him, woke scalpel, as he says, to attract attractions. So,
It's a good term.
Wake up,
that.
scalpel!
Yes.
Time to do some carving.
Oh, you're literally waking up a scalpel.
Yeah.
That's cute.
That's wow.
No, but he says Disney's using the woke scalpel to attractions such as the Jungle Cruise, Splash Mountain, and the Pirates of the Caribbean. We've talked about this numerous times.
They're
about the whole
carving
thing.
out stuff for wokeness.
That sounds like a wrestling finishing maneuver. He hit him with the woke scalpel. Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. It's over. He'll never get up. The titles change hands.
America's scalp.
The woke scalpel.
The people's scalpel. Anyway, so he sums up and he says that, and I am paraphrasing a bit here, quote, "Disney World is going to lose us as customers if it continues down this path. This should matter to the people of Orlando because if Disney drives away customers like me, Orlando loses money. And I would rather keep spending them in Orlando, but people like me feel more and more excluded by Disney's decisions."
See, that's where he
End quote.
messed up. That's where he messed up right there. If he had just kept it broad,
Yeah?
and not been like, see, y'all need me on this wall. Y'all need me in your community. I bring money to y'all. I'm King Kong in this bitch. Like, he didn't do all of that. Then people would probably have not reacted that way because everybody spends their money at Disney. I mean, I get what he's saying, but you're not going to crush Disney if you don't show up.
I think what he's trying to say is, we Republicans are rich.
We're the people. We're the 1%.
You want a bunch of poor people that work at Hot Topic?
Plebeians.
Staying at the All-Stars?
It takes 30 of them to equal one of me.
Eating off grounds?
What? I
Then
eat at
fine.
the good
I'm
places.
Van Buskirk.
Yeah.
That's what I think he's trying to say.
So he's like Ric Flair, right? Pretty
Yes.
much. He styles and profiles with it.
Right.
Got you.
Disney cruise riding, Disney parks attending,
Woo!
Mickey bar eating.
I make your place look good.
Hey, for years, Ric Flair compared his penis to Space Mountain.
Yes.
Oh, did he?
Yes, he
Yes,
did. You wanna
always.
ride on, all the ladies want to ride on Space Mountain. Oh, yeah. That's totally a Flair line. Totally.
Oldest ride, longest lines. Woo!
That is awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, you never heard? Oh my
No, I've
God,
never
all
heard
the
of that.
time.
That is beautiful.
Now that I've said that, watch Space Mountain get canceled.
Boom. It ain't woke enough.
Or Ric Flair, one of the two.
Never Ric
Oh,
Flair.
man.
That's a legend. Yeah, so I mean, I get it. This guy's like, Disney shines when my money enters the economy. All right, that's great.
I think that's exactly what he's saying. It's like you need, for the
You need
prices
people
that
like
you're
us.
charging, you need people who are very well off. And it just so happens that people who are very well off are
Very
older
conservative.
white Republican males like me is what I'm taking him to say. I have no idea if that's actually what he's saying, but that's what it sounds.
But he
how it comes
brings
off
out in the
of, yeah.
beginning
Yes.
that he's a conservative guy, and and then saying,
Well, he mentions this in the middle of the
Yeah.
article, but I throw it up there just to give some context of the person we're dealing with.
And by the
Right.
way, I'm not even trying to say he's wrong.
no,
I'm not casting any judgment. I'm telling you what I think he's saying.
Yeah.
I'd really have to think about that because, I mean, shoot, to stay at some of these places, shit.
You need some money.
You need some money.
Yeah.
well, yeah, but do you okay? We're not going to go into all the places that the wokeness scalpel was used on because we've covered it before.
Yeah, we covered that before.
Yes, but in some of the places that I'm sure he goes to, let's say he's upper 1% crusty, then like it's very rare that he's really going to see these woke scalpel changes where he goes. Right? I mean, the wokeness is not cut through all of the rich, fancy restaurants. It's not cut through. There's only a handful of things.
Well,
that is taking place with, right?
Well, and most of what we're gonna, I guess we can get into that when we get into the individuality of it. But I mean, yeah, he's gonna see the Jungle Cruise. He's gonna see Splash Mountain whenever it's updated. If he decides to go back, I mean, he will see these changes, and this is what he's complaining about. Pirates, he's seen the changes, but when we go through each of these individually, I think he'll make these points. We can go ahead and discuss what he's actually Is he reacting to what he's actually seen, or is he reacting to what he's worried about seeing?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
fair question. Yeah.
Yes. All right. And so he sums up his little editorial piece like this. Oh, not editorial, opinion piece like this. This is his final statement, and I quote: Disney, comma, please return to the values and vision of Walt. The customer experience should be the core of your business model. Immersion should not be sacrificed on the altar of political correctness and appeasing the Twitter mob. End quote. And that's how he signs off on his own.
The altar.
Yeah,
I just have a problem in general when people say things like, "Hey Disney, listen to me because, I think I'm that important." I don't understand that. I mean, yes, I understand that my dollars make a difference. Every one of our dollars make a difference when we go to Disney, right?
yes.
But so does every other freaking person going there too.
Mm-hmm.
And so why is your comfort level or your experience so much more important than everyone else's? Why is it so important that they don't change pirates for you as opposed to someone like the Raz? She pays money. She goes all the time, but she is uncomfortable going on the pirates because of that scene. And she literally not
I
that
thought
she
that was
won't go to
Susanna.
Disney. Maybe I'm mixing it up. I might be, but I thought it was the Raz. But okay.
No,
well,
you could be right.
As
Maybe
far
For
Susanna
some of our
was,
listeners, it is.
maybe
They
Susanna was
spend-
Haunted Mansion, and it was Raz.
Right.
Well,
Pirates.
Susanna
I think- I
hates
really think
Haunted
the Raz
Mansion,
was
but
the
Raz
Pirates
was,
thing.
You
Yeah,
might be
Raz was
right.
the Pirates.
You might be
Raz,
right.
But
Raz was the
either
Pirates.
way,
They'll let us know.
Either way, these are two conflicting opinions about that ride.
Sure.
But they're both spending money at Disney. So who's to say this person's money is more important than this person's?
Lee, you missed the beginning part. He goes on Disney cruises.
Yes. He spends all his money
He
at
goes
the park.
2-3. All of his money goes. To, I
got
mean, like
park.
he gave his bona fides just then and there. He spends more money than all these people, in his opinion.
Well, I will just say this. The one thing that made me fall in love with Disney was the first trip we went to, and we stayed at All Stars.
Yep.
And I felt like a king.
Yep.
I felt like I was treated the same as if anyone staying in the Grand Floridian. I didn't see me getting treated different. Now, as I've gotten more involved, I do see some of the differences. But at that time, that first trip, and I stayed at the cheapest one we could get, I felt like I was treated so well, over the top customer service. I never felt like I was staying at the cheapest hotel in the place, if that makes sense.
No, it makes
I never
perfect
got that
sense.
feeling.
When Anna and I went back, we stayed at the All Star Music. We stayed there the second year we went back as well because we felt like we got the royal treatment. We were like, how does it get any better than this? This is awesome. And then we stayed at a deluxe and we were like, oh my God, we were really missing. Now things have kind of changed a little bit. So I think there are more conveniences as it pertains to staying on.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So the time frame that you're talking about, I see that be a little bit more relevant. Look, and I'm with you. I totally 100% agree. I think what this guy's point is, though, I'm not an annual pass holder. I don't pay every time I go there, I stay in the nicest hotels. I book cruises. I do all these things, and you're putting me in a position where I don't want to go anymore because and it's my $8,000 to $10,000 a year or $15,000. I don't remember what he estimated it to be or if he estimated it to be, but that sounds about right for what he's saying. I mean, those cruises are not that's not cheap
at all.
Yeah. So plus, if you're going on a cruise at least once a year and you're going to the parks once a year, that's a lot of money.
Yeah. Actually, just to quote from his article, he says, what does he say? He says, "My family, I've been loyal Disney fans for customers for decades. We vacation at Disney World every year. We take a Disney cruise every year or two. Consequently, we spend way too much money in Orlando." That's what he says.
Well, that's his problem.
Okay,
I mean, that's
so
what he does.
Yeah. He didn't estimate a figure, but I'm estimating for him.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to go. Yes,
you can do the math real easy.
Yeah.
Yes. So here's my biggest problem with what he says is, and I'm not even critiquing his opinion so much. I think we can all agree that when you spend the kind of money that Disney demands that you spend, that you want there to be this certain sense of I'm in this bubble and I'm in this land of happiness and nothing can interfere with what's going on in and around me. The problem with it is just that's just not that sounds like the feeling that you get when you watch the commercials about Disney, where this family is wandering down Main Street all alone with their daughter and their wife.
Nobody around.
Nobody around. The reality is that if you want to break immersion, look to your left, look to your right. There's going to be a guy with tattoos. There's going to be somebody with gauges in their ears. Somebody with dyed hair. You're going to be hitting in the back of the knee with a stroller. Somebody's going to be on their cell phone. I'm not buying this whole sense of immersion so much. Yes, it's nice. It really is, and you take it all in when you get there. But there are opportunities to lose the immersion in and all around you.
Oh, big time.
To tie it all back to, a tattoo on a cast member's forearm. I don't see that.
That was exactly what I was going to say, too. It's
And Patches.
And I think Patches agrees with you. Yeah.
You got dogs barking in the background. You got airplanes
cats and dogs
flying
living
overhead.
together. Mass hysteria.
Mass hysteria.
That's right.
That was my whole thing. It's like, okay, so the Splash Mountain, all the other things that he's talking about, this has all been going on for a while. But what was really the straw that broke the camel's back? What made this guy decide that he had to write into the Orlando Sentinel tattoos and fingernail polish?
Yes.
Are you kidding me, guy? Like that's what did it for you. Oh, that's it.
Yep.
Blue fingernail polish. Oh my God. That is, I cannot go to Disney and be lost in the magic anymore because this kid's got a Mickey tattoo on their wrist or whatever. Come on, man. Just get over yourself, dude.
Well, I can read you the paragraph where he states his issue. All right. So this is a very short paragraph. And I'm quoting. He says, recently, Disney announced that cast members are now permitted to display tattoos, wear inclusive uniforms, and display inclusive haircuts. Disney did all of this in the name of allowing cast members to express themselves. That's it.
Well, but here again, back to what Lee just said. This obviously is the straw that broke the camel's back because this is the most recent offense. Everything else that he kind of referenced, we've known about
going on, yes.
Right, for a long time. Unless he's been there within the last week, he's not experienced any of this. He's not been there. He hasn't seen what the standards are exactly. Yeah. He hasn't seen just how much of an effect this is going to have on him. It just sounds like he's projecting his feelings about something that he hasn't experienced based upon his ideas of what should be there.
That's what I was...
Preconceived notions.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a nice way to put it because there's a completely weirder way to put it, but I like that. I would piggyback and go as far as to say that if he had put in this article, hey, I was in the Jungle Cruise one time. I was with my girl.
I was a jungle man.
And I was like, yeah, I'm as wild as these savages out here, And then she was like, well, they kissed me, savage. And we was right by Trader Sam. It was like, you either give me head or give him some head or something like that, right?
I don't keep going, man. You get me hot over here.
Right. I was about to say, is this in your next issue of Savages?
That's
comic
it.
book that's on for sale online?
That's it, yeah.
Ivorcomics.com? You don't say.
I write my own stuff.
That's beautiful.
That's it. You just got to lie, son.
He just looked at me ever so lovingly in my eyes and said, kiss me, savage.
And my milky white bosom popped out.
Popped out. And in the middle of humidity, sweat glistened right off the tasty bosom.
Oh, I got the vapors.
That's it.
Oh, my God.
That's it. Now, if he had wrote something like that, where he's like, this memory stuck out to me and now I won't have it anymore. Now I empathize with this person. Because now you see what I'm saying? Like,
orders for savages is going to go through the roof.
I know.
Now.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's
Ivorcomics.com, everybody.
That's it.
Ivorcomics.com.
I do write gently.